The clinking of silver against my mother's fine china should be soothing, the sound of family tradition, but tonight it sets my teeth on edge. I sit between Beckett and Sutton at the long mahogany table, pushing roasted Brussels sprouts around my plate while Aunt Margaret drones on about her cruise to the Bahamas. Beckett's flannel shirt still has faint traces of drywall dust on the collar, and his work boots are scuffed beneath the table. He catches me looking and gives me that small, private smile that says he'd rather be anywhere else. Then my mother's manicured hands press flat against the table. The room goes silent. Even Aunt Margaret stops mid-sentence about snorkeling. "Before we have dessert," Mom says, her voice bright and practiced, "Nicholas and I have an announcement about Sutton's wedding." My fork pauses halfway to my mouth. Sutton sits up straighter, her Instagram-ready smile already in place. "You know how much we adore both our daughters," Mom continues, and my stomach tightens at the qualifier. Nothing good ever follows that phrase. And we believe in supporting family dreams. Dad clears his throat, straightening his tie. "Delilah and I have secured the February 20th opening at the Alta-Aspen Resort for Sutton and Tripp's wedding." Sutton squeals. Actual squealing. Tripp pumps his fist like he just won something. I set down my fork carefully. The Alta-Aspen Resort. That venue costs more than I make in a year. A celebrity couple canceled last minute, Mom says, beaming. "It's a once-in-a-lifetime influencer opportunity. The exposure alone is worth..." "How are you paying for it?" The question comes out sharper than I intended. Mom's smile doesn't falter. "Well, that's the thing, sweetheart. We accessed your trust fund, $48,000. It covered the deposit, and most of the rest of her words turn into white noise. My trust fund. The one my grandmother left me. The one that transfers to my full control in 3 weeks when I turn 30. "You what?" My voice sounds distant, like it belongs to someone else. "Now, Isla, don't make that face." Dad's tone carries a warning. "Your mother and I are still the trustees until your birthday. We have every legal right to..." "Did you just admit to felony embezzlement in front of witnesses?" Beckett's voice cuts through the room like a blade through ice. He hasn't raised his voice. He doesn't need to. Every head turns toward him. Dad's face reddens. He looks at Beckett's dusty shirt, his calloused hands, those scuffed boots. Then he laughs. Actually laughs. "Felony? Listen, son. I know you're used to bricklaying money, but in the real world, parents manage their children's assets all the time. Maybe if you made more than minimum wage, Isla wouldn't need family support." "Dad," the word scrapes out of my throat. Beckett sets down his water glass with deliberate care. "You have 72 hours to return the principal plus interest. If you don't, Sutton's wedding becomes a funeral for this family's reputation." Tripp snorts from across the table, his phone already out, filming. "Bro, what are you gonna do? Sue them? With what lawyer? I tried Googling you, man. Beckett Sterling? Nothing. No LinkedIn, no Facebook. You're a ghost. In 2024, if you're not online, you're nobody. Public defender gonna squeeze you in between his drug cases?" I grab Beckett's arm before he can respond. His muscles are rigid beneath my fingers. "Kitchen. Now." He follows me, and I don't miss the smug look Dad exchanges with Tripp as we leave. The kitchen still smells like turkey and sage. I lean against the counter, my hands shaking. Beckett stands near the doorway, watching me with those calm gray eyes that never seem ruffled by anything. "They stole from me." The words come out hollow. My grandmother left me that money so I could buy a house, start a life, and they just... I know. I'm 29 years and 11 months old, Beckett. 11 months. In 3 weeks that money would have been completely mine, and they knew it. They timed this. He crosses to me in 2 strides and pulls me against his chest. I can smell sawdust and soap and him. For a moment I let myself break, just a little. When I was 16, they made me pay my own college tuition while Sutton got a brand new Lexus. I whisper into his shirt. When I was 22, I bailed her out of $3,000 in credit card debt because Mom said she was fragile, that she needed support. I'm always the fixer, the responsible one, the strong one who doesn't need help. You're also the one they underestimate. Beckett pulls back to look at me, which is going to be their biggest mistake. Before I can ask what he means, Mom appears in the doorway. "Isla, honey, come back to the table. You're embarrassing yourself." I straighten, turn to face her. She's wearing her patient smile, the one that says she's the adult and I'm the child throwing a tantrum. Embarrassing myself? Something inside me cracks. Not breaks, cracks. Like ice before it shatters. You stole $48,000 from me. We borrowed it, sweetheart. For family. Sutton is fragile. She needs this spotlight to thrive. You're a survivor. You'll make more money. This is about supporting your sister when she... No. Mom blinks. Excuse me? No. This isn't about survival. This isn't about support. This is theft. Her face hardens. Don't you dare speak to me that way. After everything we've done for you. Name one thing. The kitchen goes silent. I can hear voices from the dining room. Aunt Margaret asking if everything is all right. Mom's jaw tightens. You have until dessert to apologize and come back to this table like a grateful daughter. Otherwise, you can leave. She turns and walks away, her heels clicking against the hardwood. Beckett touches my shoulder. We should go. Wait. I grab my purse from the counter and pull out my phone. My hands are steadier now. If they want to play this game, they're going to regret it. Back in the dining room, everyone stares as we gather our coats. Sutton has tears in her eyes, the performance kind that look good on camera. Dad won't even look at me. Tripp is still filming, smirking. I stop at the doorway and look back at my family. My whole life, I've been invisible to them, unless they needed something fixed. Not anymore. 72 hours, I say quietly. Enjoy your turkey. The door closes behind us with a soft click that sounds like a gunshot. Monday morning, I call the trust administrator before my shift starts. My hands shake as I dial, coffee going cold on my kitchen counter. Beckett left an hour ago for a job site, kissing my forehead and telling me to breathe. I can't breathe. Not until I know how bad this actually is. Miss Cook, let me pull up your account. The administrator's voice is professionally neutral, the kind that gives nothing away. I hear typing. Then silence. Then more typing. Is there a problem? I'm seeing some unusual activity. Can you hold, please? The hold music is classical, something with violins that makes my teeth ache. I pace my small living room, past the secondhand couch Beckett reupholstered last spring, past the bookshelf we found at an estate sale. Everything here we built ourselves. Nothing handed to us. Miss Cook? A different voice now. Older, careful. This is Gerald Hutchins, senior trustee. I need to ask you a question. Did you sign a verbal consent memo 2 months ago authorizing a $48,000 transfer to Sutton Marie Cook? My stomach drops. No. I was afraid of that. Papers rustle. The documentation is dated September 15th. It claims you verbally agreed to gift the funds to your sister for wedding expenses, and that you'd formalize it in writing before your 30th birthday. I never said that. I didn't even know about Sutton's engagement until October. More rustling. Miss Cook, I'm looking at the transfer log right now. This wasn't impulsive. Someone accessed the account 3 separate times over 6 weeks, moving funds in increments to avoid triggering our large withdrawal alerts. They knew exactly what they were doing. I sink onto the couch, premeditated, not a desperate grab in a moment of weakness. They planned this. Can you email me everything? Every document, every transfer record, every piece of paper with my name on it? I'll send it within the hour. Miss Cook, I have to tell you, this doesn't look good. If that consent memo is forged, we're talking about fraud, criminal fraud. I end the call and stare at my phone. The screen shows 7:53 a.m. In 7 minutes, I'm supposed to clock in at the warehouse, manage shipments, fix other people's logistics problems. But I can't move. My parents didn't just steal from me. They framed it as my choice. The email arrives at 8:47 a.m. I'm late for work, but I don't care. I download every attachment in the bathroom stall, hands trembling so hard I nearly drop my phone twice. The verbal consent memo is typed on official letterhead. It describes a conversation that never happened, quotes words I never said. At the bottom, in neat typescript, verbal consent recorded by Delilah Cook, co-trustee, the 15th of September 2024. I photograph every page, twice. Then I back them up to 3 different cloud accounts. My phone buzzes. Email from Dad. Subject: reality check. Isla, your mother is very upset by your behavior on Thanksgiving. Ungrateful daughters who sue their parents don't appear in wills. We've given you everything, and this is how you repay us? Choose wisely. Your inheritance depends on it. Dad. I read it 3 times, Then I forward it to my personal email with the subject line, evidence. Tuesday morning, my boss Karen pulls me into her office. She's 50-something fair, the kind of manager who remembers your birthday. Right now she looks uncomfortable. Isla, I got a strange call yesterday. My chest tightens. From who? A man named Trip Johnson. Said he's your future brother-in-law. He was very concerned about you. She pauses. He said you're going through a mental health crisis. That you're harassing his fiancée and making threats. That your family is worried you might be unstable. The floor tilts. That's not true. I didn't think it was. But Isla, he knew details. Your position here, your schedule, even that you've been taking longer breaks lately. Karen's expression softens. Are you okay? Is something going on? My parents stole $48,000 from my trust fund. I'm hiring a lawyer. Trip is trying to discredit me before I can fight back. Karen exhales slowly. Jesus. Okay. For the record, your job is safe. But if he calls again, I need to document it. HR requires it. Document everything, I say. I am. That night, alone in my apartment, I make a decision. Not the kind where you weigh pros and cons, the kind that arrives fully formed, inevitable, like recognizing you're already falling. I open my laptop and pull up my savings account, the house fund. $8,216. Every extra shift, every skipped dinner out, every birthday where I asked for cash instead of gifts. This was supposed to be my future, my foundation. I transfer $8,000 to my checking account. Then I Google forensic accountants and lawyers who handle trust fund fraud. Martin Webb's website is plain, professional, 30 years exposing financial deception. I send him the trust documents at 11:34 p.m. Riley Donovan's site shows a woman in her 60s with steel gray hair and sharp eyes. Family law attorney specializing in elder abuse and trust disputes. I email her at 11:41 p.m. By Wednesday morning, both have responded. Martin's retainer is $4,000. Riley's is $4,000. I wire the money before I can reconsider. This isn't saving for a future anymore. This is paying for survival now. And Wednesday afternoon, Riley calls. I've reviewed the documents, Mr. Webb forwarded. The forged consent memo is sloppy work. Wrong notary stamp. Signature dates that don't match the claimed conversation date. We can prove fraud. How long will it take? I'm sending a formal demand letter today. Certified mail, signature required. They'll have it by Thursday morning. After that, we wait to see if they're smart enough to settle or stupid enough to fight. Thursday, 10:15 a.m. My phone rings. Dad. I let it go to voicemail. How dare you? How dare you send lawyers after your own parents? You want to destroy this family over money? We'll destroy you first. Everyone will know what kind of daughter you really are. I save the voicemail. Evidence. Thursday, 6:47 p.m. The family group chat explodes. Trip has posted a photo. Beckett's rusted 1,998 Ford F-150 parked next to Trip's leased BMW M5. The caption reads, "Maybe if your boyfriend worked harder, you wouldn't need to sue your own parents." 37 family members see it. Aunt Margaret comments, "So sad when jealousy ruins families." Cousin Jennifer adds a crying emoji. I stare at that photo, at Beckett's truck with its dented fender and faded paint. Trip thinks he's humiliating us. He has no idea what he's looking at. I screenshot the post. Then I screenshot every comment. I don't delete the app. I don't respond. I just add it to the folder labeled Evidence, and wait. Saturday morning, I wake to my phone vibrating like it's having a seizure. 37 notifications. 42. 56. I grab it from the nightstand, squinting at the screen. Text messages, voicemails, Instagram tags, Facebook comments. The barrage makes my stomach clench before I even read the first one. Sutton posted something. Of course she did. I tap the Instagram notification with shaking fingers. There she is, my baby sister, filmed in perfect morning light streaming through gauzy curtains. Her eyes are red-rimmed and glassy. Her voice breaks on every third word. I don't usually get this personal, she says to the camera, dabbing at her nose with a tissue, but I need to be real with you guys right now. A shaky breath. There's someone in my family who's trying to sabotage my wedding. Someone who's supposed to love me. Her chin trembles. I won't say who because I'm not that person, but they're suing my parents over money, over my dream day, and I can't believe someone could be that jealous, that spiteful. The video has 12,000 views already. The comments are a firing squad. Your strength is inspiring. Family should support each other, not tear each other down. Whoever it is doesn't deserve you, sis. My hands go numb. The phone starts ringing. Aunt Margaret. I decline. Voicemail pings immediately. I don't listen. Another call. Cousin Jennifer. Decline. Another voicemail. Then the texts start pouring in faster. Aunt Margaret, how could you do this to your sister? She's been planning this wedding for months. Cousin Jennifer. Your parents sacrificed everything for you, and this is how you repay them? Uncle Tom. This is embarrassing for the whole family. Drop the lawsuit. I sit on the edge of my bed, still in Beckett's old t-shirt, watching my phone light up like a slot machine. Each message lands like a physical blow. These people have known me my entire life. They watched me graduate college debt-free because I worked 3 jobs. They saw me bail Sutton out of that credit card disaster. They know who I am. But none of that matters now. Sutton cried on camera. So I'm the villain. My phone rings again. Mom this time. I stare at her name on the screen, my thumb hovering over the answer button. The call goes to voicemail. 10 seconds later, a text. Mom. I hope you're happy. You've turned this family against itself. Sutton is devastated. Was the money really worth destroying your sister's happiness? Something cold settles in my chest. Not anger, not even hurt anymore, just a kind of hollow clarity. They're never going to stop. Even if I dropped the lawsuit right now, walked away from every penny, they'd still see me as the problem. The ungrateful daughter, the jealous sister, the one who ruins everything. Beckett finds me an hour later, still sitting there, phone in my lap like a bomb I'm afraid to set down. How bad? He asks quietly. I hand him the phone without a word. He scrolls through the messages, his jaw tightening with each one. When he gets to Sutton's video, he watches the whole thing in silence. Get dressed, he says finally. We're leaving. Where? Away from this. I don't argue. I pull on jeans and a sweater, grab my jacket. Beckett drives his rusted Ford F-150 north, away from the city, away from my apartment where the walls feel like they're closing in. Neither of us speaks. The silence feels safer than words right now. We drive for nearly an hour before he turns onto a narrow gravel road I've never seen before. The truck bounces over potholes and weeds until we reach a clearing at the end of a long driveway. Then I see it. The house looks like something from a Gothic novel someone left out in the rain for a decade. Victorian architecture, 3 stories tall, with a wraparound porch that sags on one side. Paint peels in long strips from the clapboard siding. 2 windows on the second floor are cracked, spider webbing out from their centers. The yard is 3 acres of overgrown grass and dead bushes. It's a disaster. What is this place? I ask. Beckett kills the engine. I bought the option on it last month. I turn to stare at him. You what? Come on. He gets out of the truck. I follow him through knee-high weeds to the front porch. The steps creak under our weight, and I'm half convinced we're going to fall through. But they hold. Beckett produces a key from his pocket and unlocks the front door. It swings open with a horror movie groan. Inside, the house smells like dust and old wood, and something faintly floral, like dried flowers nobody ever threw away. Afternoon light streams through dirty windows, illuminating particles floating in the air. The entryway opens into a large living room with a stone fireplace buried under layers of grime. Rotted carpet covers what looks like hardwood underneath. It's broken, Beckett says softly, taking my hand. Like everything feels right now. I look at him. Really look at him. There's something in his eyes I haven't seen before. Not pity, not even sympathy. Just understanding. But it has good bones, he continues, leading me deeper into the house. He points up at the ceiling. Original crown molding. See? Under all that water damage, it's still there. He kneels and peels back a corner of the disgusting carpet. Underneath, dark hardwood gleams faintly. This is probably oak, maybe 100 years old. We move through the house together. He shows me the dining room with its built-in china cabinet, the butler's pantry with original glass front cabinets, the kitchen that needs to be gutted entirely. Upstairs, 5 bedrooms in various states of decay. The master has a bay window overlooking the property, and through the grime I can see the potential. Back downstairs, Beckett takes both my hands and turns me to face him in front of that filthy stone fireplace. "We'll build our own life here," he says. "With or without that money, with or without them." Something inside me shifts. Not breaks, shifts. Like tectonic plates rearranging themselves deep underground. I've spent 29 years trying to earn a place at my family's pristine Thanksgiving table. Fighting to be seen, to be valued, to be loved the way Sutton is loved. Hoping that if I just fixed enough problems, absorbed enough blame, stayed quiet and competent and useful, they'd finally see me as worth keeping. But standing in this wreck of a house, I realize I don't want that anymore. I want this broken Victorian with good bones, this man who sees my value without needing me to prove it. This possibility of peace, even if it comes with peeling paint and cracked windows. I want this more, I whisper. Beckett pulls me close, and I breathe in sawdust and possibility. We walk the property as the sun starts sinking lower. 3 acres of dead grass and overgrown brambles and a few trees that might bloom come spring. It's ugly right now, but it's ours. Then Beckett's phone rings. He glances at the screen, and something changes in his face. I need to take this. He walks about 20 feet away, turning his back to me. I watch him answer, and his entire posture transforms. Straighter, sharper, his voice carries across the dead grass, but the tone is completely different from the one I know. "Yes, I've reviewed the acquisition timeline," he says, crisp and authoritative. Professional in a way that doesn't match the flannel shirt and work boots. Board approval by Tuesday. Liquidity requirements are covered on our end. A pause. "No, the merger won't affect our existing property portfolio. We're expanding, not consolidating." I freeze. "Property portfolio?" He listens to whoever's on the other end, and I catch fragments. Due diligence completed. Finalize the purchase agreement. Wire transfer authorization. This doesn't sound like a contractor talking to a client. This sounds like something else entirely. Beckett ends the call and stands there for a moment, phone still in his hand, staring out at the tree line. When he turns back to me, his expression is unreadable. Careful. "Everything okay?" I ask. He crosses back to me and cups my face in his calloused hands. "Trust me," he says quietly. "Let them think they're winning for a few more days." I study his face, the gray eyes that never seem ruffled, the slight tension in his jaw, the way he chooses every word with precision I'm only now noticing. "What aren't you telling me?" I whisper. "Something that's going to change everything." He kisses my forehead. "But not yet. Not until the trap is set." I should press him. Demand answers. But something in his eyes stops me. Not deception. Strategy. So I nod slowly, trusting what I don't yet understand. As we walk back to his truck, my phone buzzes again. Another message from the family group chat. I don't open it. For the first time in my life, their opinions feel smaller than my own certainty. Whatever Beckett is planning, whatever he's not telling me, I know one thing for sure. I'm done fighting to stay in a family that never wanted me there in the first place. I'm fighting to get out. The 72-hour deadline expires Tuesday at 5 p.m. I watch the clock on my office wall tick past the moment, and nothing happens. No phone call, no wire transfer notification, just silence. Wednesday morning, Riley calls. Her voice carries a tightness I haven't heard before. "We have a problem." I'm in my car in the parking garage, eating a protein bar that tastes like cardboard. "What kind of problem?" "Nicholas and Delilah's attorney just sent over their counter evidence." She pauses. "It's a screenshot from 5 years ago. A text message you sent to Sutton after what looks like a girls' night out." My stomach drops. "What does it say?" "What's mine is yours, sis." Riley's tone is careful. There's a heart emoji. Their lawyer is arguing this demonstrates a pattern of voluntary gifting, not embezzlement. It complicates our case significantly. The protein bar turns to dust in my mouth. I remember that night. Sutton had just broken up with her boyfriend of 3 months and was sobbing about needing new boots to feel better. I'd bought her dinner and told her not to worry about money. "That was about a pair of boots," I say, "not $48,000. I know, but it gives them ammunition, A jury might see it as evidence of your intent to share assets freely with your sister. She exhales slowly. Isla, if we proceed to court now, this could drag out 18 months, maybe longer, and there's no guarantee we win. I press my forehead against the steering wheel. The concrete pillar in front of me is gray and cold, and exactly how I feel. What are my options? We can fight, build a stronger case, depose witnesses, document the pattern of financial abuse. But it'll cost you everything you have left, and the outcome is uncertain. Riley's voice softens. Or you can walk away, cut your losses. Sometimes the win is just getting out alive. I sit there after she hangs up, head against the steering wheel, looking at my reflection in the rearview mirror. The woman staring back has dark circles under her eyes and defeat written across every line of her face. My phone buzzes. A text from Mom. We're willing to be reasonable. Let's talk. Thursday evening, I call her. My hand shakes as I dial, and I hate myself for it. She answers on the first ring. Isla. Her voice is warm, relieved, triumphant. I'm so glad you're being sensible about this. I can't do this anymore. The words come out small, exhausted. Beckett is across the room, watching me with those unreadable gray eyes. I'll sign whatever you want. Mom's relief floods through the phone. Oh, sweetheart, I knew you'd come around. Family is more important than money, isn't it? Your father and I have always said. What do you need me to sign? Well, she clears her throat, and I can hear the calculation in the pause. Sutton's pre-wedding gala is Saturday night at the Mayfield Club. 200 guests. It would mean so much to her if you came and publicly blessed this wedding. Showed everyone that our family is united. My jaw clenches. You want me to sign the waiver in front of 200 people? It's not about humiliation, Isla. It's about family healing. About you being the bigger person, the way you've always been. Her voice takes on that syrupy quality I've heard my entire life. You're so strong, so capable. This is your chance to show everyone that grace and maturity. Beckett crosses to me and takes my free hand. His fingers are warm and steady. Fine, I whisper. I'll be there Saturday. Oh, wonderful. I'll text you the details. And Isla, I'm proud of you. This is the daughter I raised. She hangs up before I can respond. I set the phone down and stare at it like it might bite me. Beckett sits beside me on the couch, still holding my hand. I just gave up, I say. I just let them win. He doesn't answer, just squeezes my fingers once, a message I can't quite decode. Friday afternoon, my phone explodes with notifications. Sutton has posted an Instagram story, a close-up of her hand holding Tripp's, both their engagement rings catching the light. The caption reads, "Sometimes love wins. Family first. After wins." The comments flood in. So happy for you. Family is everything. Your sister must be so proud. I'm still staring at it when Beckett's phone buzzes. He glances at the screen and shows me. Tripp's text. Your girl finally learned her place. Maybe you should too. Beckett deletes it without responding. Then he pulls up something else on his phone and shows me a confirmation email. The Alta-Aspen Resort. February 20th booking. Paid in full. $48,000 of my money. Now locked into their dream wedding. They committed everything, Beckett says quietly. The venue is non-refundable. I know. My voice is hollow. They won. He looks at me with an expression I can't read, then goes back to his phone, typing something I can't see. Saturday afternoon, I'm in Beckett's truck as he drives us toward the Mayfield Club. I'm wearing a simple black dress that feels like funeral clothes. The waiver document sits in my purse, already reviewed by Riley, already marked with sticky tabs where I need to sign. Are we doing the right thing? The question comes out smaller than I intended. Beckett adjusts his cuff, and I catch a flash of something on his wrist. My breath stops. The watch is vintage, elegant, unmistakably expensive. Patek Philippe, if I'm seeing it correctly. The kind of timepiece that costs more than my father's car. He catches me noticing and covers it smoothly, but not before I see the briefest smile touch his lips. The trap only works if the animal thinks the cage is empty, he says. My pulse quickens. I look at him, really look at him. The flannel shirt is gone today, replaced by a crisp white button-down and charcoal slacks. His work boots are nowhere in sight. He's wearing Italian leather shoes I've never seen before. Beckett. My voice is barely a whisper. What did you do? Trust me. He glances over, and his gray eyes are clear and calm and absolutely certain. Let them celebrate. Let them think they've won. Let them commit everything publicly. Lock in that Aspen booking. Maximize the height from which they're about to fall. The defeat I've been carrying for 3 days shifts into something else, something sharp and waiting. We pull into the Mayfield Club parking lot. Through the windows, I can see crystal chandeliers, ice sculptures, designer dresses, 200 witnesses to my supposed surrender. Beckett parks and turns to me. The trap is armed. All we need now is for them to step into it. I look down at the waiver in my purse, then back at him. At that watch worth more than everything I own. At the man who has been playing poor while my family played rich. Who are you? I breathe. He smiles. You'll find out in about 2 hours. Ready? I take his hand. My fingers are steady now. Let's go spring the trap. The gala is everything Sutton dreamed about. Crystal chandeliers scatter light across the ballroom like captured stars. Ice sculptures shaped like swans guard the buffet tables, slowly melting into their silver trays. A string quartet plays something classical in the corner, notes floating above the murmur of 200 guests in cocktail attire. I stand near the back wall in a simple black dress, watching Sutton work the room in designer white. She looks like a bride already, and I suppose that's the point. Every few minutes, she touches someone's arm, laughs at the right moment, poses for photos with her phone held at the perfect angle. Beckett stands beside me, silent. He's wearing a suit I've never seen before, charcoal gray with a subtle pinstripe. No drywall dust tonight. His hand rests on the small of my back, steady and warm. You ready? You ready? He asks quietly. I nod, though my throat feels tight. Sutton takes the microphone from the DJ. The quartet stops playing. The room settles into expectant silence. Thank you all so much for coming tonight, Sutton says, her voice bright and practiced. She presses one hand to her heart. This is such a special moment for Tripp and me, and I'm so grateful to have you here to celebrate our journey to the Alta Aspen Resort. Polite applause. Someone whistles. I especially want to thank my parents, Nicholas and Delilah Cook, for their incredible generosity. Sutton's eyes shine with what might be real tears. She's gotten good at this. Their generous gift made my dream wedding possible, and I can't express how blessed I feel. More applause, louder this time. Mom dabs at her eyes with a handkerchief. Dad stands straighter, accepting backslaps from Uncle Tom and Aunt Margaret's husband. And now, Sutton continues, her smile widening. I'd like to invite my sister Isla to the stage. 200 faces turn toward me. The weight of their attention makes my skin prickle. I force my feet to move. I leave my clutch on the chair. I won't need it. I cross the polished floor to where Sutton stands in her spotlight. She hugs me, whispers in my ear, "Thank you for being reasonable." I pull back and see Dad approaching from the side. He pulls a folded document from his inner jacket pocket, along with a gold pen. His smirk is subtle but unmistakable. He's savoring this moment, having the surrender signed in front of everyone. The room watches, waiting for my capitulation, the responsible daughter finally accepting her place. Then Beckett steps forward. He doesn't take the pen. He reaches past Dad and takes the microphone from Sutton's hand. His movement is smooth, confident. Not aggressive, just certain. "Sutton," he says, his voice pleasant, almost friendly. "Could you check your email?" Sutton frowns. "What? Beckett? This isn't—" "Your email. Check it." Something in his tone makes her reach for her phone. The room has gone quiet again, but this silence feels different, uncertain. I watch Sutton's face as she unlocks her screen, watches her scroll, watches the color drain from her cheeks like water from a broken glass. Why? Her voice comes out small. She looks up at Beckett, then at her phone again. Why is my reservation canceled? I'm sorry? Mom pushes forward through the crowd. What did you say? My reservation. Sutton's voice rises, cracking. The Alta Aspen Resort just sent an email. Our wedding is canceled. She scrolls frantically. They refunded the deposit. All of it. Why would they? Why is my wedding canceled? The last words come out as a scream. Guests murmur. Someone gasps. Beckett's smile doesn't change. Professional. Cold. Because I ordered it canceled. I am the CEO of Sterling Hospitality Group. We acquired the Alta-Aspen Resort last week. The room goes completely silent. I stare at him. CEO, Sterling Hospitality Group. The words don't connect to the man who showed me a broken Victorian house, who wears flannel shirts dusty with drywall, who drives a rusted 1998 Ford F-150. Dad finds his voice first. That's impossible. You're a laborer. You don't. Beckett signals toward the back of the room. A screen behind the DJ booth illuminates, flooding the wall with blue light. Documents appear. Transfer agreements. Corporate acquisition papers. And there, enlarged so everyone can read it, the forged trust memo with Mom's signature. While a text message might delay civil proceedings, Beckett says, his voice carrying to every corner of the ballroom, the documented intent to conceal this transfer makes it criminal fraud under our corporate anti-corruption bylaws. He pauses. Lets the words settle. 200 witnesses, hearing every syllable. Sutton Cook and Trip Johnson are now blacklisted from every Sterling property globally. That's 137 luxury venues across North America. His voice never rises, never hardens. Just states facts. There will be no wedding at Aspen. There will be no wedding at any comparable venue in this region. You can't. Dad lunges forward. 2 security personnel appear instantly, blocking his path. I didn't even see them enter. They're professionals, hands raised in calm warning, but their presence is absolute. The ballroom doors open. 3 attorneys in matching navy suits walk in carrying briefcases. They move like a choreographed unit, flanking Beckett. The lead attorney steps forward. She's older, gray hair pulled back severely. Mr. and Mrs. Cook. I'm Riley Donovan, lead counsel for Sterling Hospitality Group. We have prepared a criminal filing for fraud regarding the forged documents to be submitted Monday morning. However, Mr. Sterling is willing to treat this as a civil misunderstanding if full restitution is initiated immediately. Total $60,000. Mom makes a sound like a wounded animal. Nicholas, do something. Dad's face has gone purple. This is insane. You can't just we're her parents. We have rights. You had trustee authority? Riley says calmly. You abused it. The documentation on the screen proves intent to defraud. Your choice is simple. Pay now, or explain your actions to a prosecutor. I watch Dad's hands shake as he pulls out his phone. He tries to look defiant, but his fingers fumble on the screen. Mom hovers beside him, whispering frantically. The guests stand frozen. Nobody leaves. This is better than any reality show. Trip appears at the edge of my vision, moving toward the exit. Nobody stops him. By the time Sutton notices, he's already gone, the door closing softly behind him. She collapses into the nearest chair, mascara streaming down her face in black rivers. Her phone keeps buzzing with notifications, probably Instagram followers wondering where the wedding content went. Dad accesses his mobile banking app. His face is gray now, the purple rage drained away into sick resignation. I see him navigating through screens, watch his jaw clench as he drains their liquid savings. When that's not enough, he pulls up something else, his emergency home equity line of credit. Mom sees the numbers. Nicholas? No, that's for... What choice do we have? His voice is hollow. At 9:47, Dad holds his phone screen toward Riley. Transfer initiated. Priority status. Riley checks her own phone. Checking. I see the pending authorization code. It will clear on Monday. If the funds bounce, the criminal filing proceeds. She turns and walks out, her team following. The security personnel remain, watching Dad with flat, professional eyes. I look at Beckett, this man I thought I knew. This man who let my father mock his bricklaying money while wearing a watch worth more than their car. He meets my eyes. Good bones, he says softly, and I understand. The Victorian house. The broken thing with potential. He saw me the same way. Worth investing in. Worth protecting. Around us, 200 witnesses pull out their phones, already texting, already posting. By morning, everyone will know. The Cook family's perfect facade cracked open in front of everyone who mattered. Sutton sits in her chair, white dress wrinkled, face ruined, alone, and I feel nothing. Not anger, not satisfaction. Just the quiet certainty that I'm finally free. The lighthouse beam sweeps across the water in its ancient rhythm, steady as a heartbeat. 6 months have passed since the gala, and I stand on the rocky Maine coast watching 40 people I actually love gather near the keeper's cottage. The wind tugs at my simple cream dress, and I don't smooth it down. There are no photographers here, no performance required. Riley Donovan adjusts her officiant's stole and grins at me. Ready to make this legal? I nod, and Beckett takes my hand. His calluses catch against my palm, rough spots from 6 months of sanding floors and pulling down rotten drywall together. Emma, my childhood friend, hands me a bouquet of wildflowers she picked this morning from our overgrown acre. Martin Webb sits beside his husband in the second row, both of them beaming. No, Nicholas. No, Delilah. No, Sutton. The ceremony lasts 12 minutes. Riley keeps it simple, honest. When Beckett kisses me, the waves crash against the rocks below, and I taste salt air and freedom. Later, we drive everyone back to the Victorian house. Our house, the one Beckett called broken but with good bones. I park in the gravel drive and stare at what we built. Fresh white paint gleams on the porch rails. New windows catch the afternoon sun. The sagging roofline stands straight now, proud. Inside, I pull on my paint-stained work gloves to show guests the crown molding I spent 3 weeks restoring, each delicate curve stripped and refinished by hand. The stone fireplace we uncovered from behind cheap paneling dominates the living room, its original brick exposed and repointed. Someone asks about the floors, and I drop to my knees to trace the grain of the oak we sanded ourselves, Beckett running the heavy machine, while I followed with stain. How much of the trust fund went into this? Emma asks quietly. $20,000. The rest sits in an account labeled ours. No parents, no trustees, no conditions. She squeezes my shoulder, understanding everything I don't say. I'm still the fixer, but now I fix foundations I choose, not facades built on lies. Monday morning arrives too soon. In Miami Beach, Sutton approaches a boutique hotel reception desk, dragging her Louis Vuitton luggage behind her. She's tanned, exhausted from posting healing journey content that gets fewer likes each week. The young clerk types her name, frowns, types again. I'm sorry, Miss Cook. Your ID is flagged in the Sterling Partner Alliance network as a financial liability. Our system won't allow check-in. Sutton's voice rises. That's impossible. Run it again. The clerk runs it again. Same result. I need to see your manager. Now. The manager arrives, reviews the screen, and nods to security. Ma'am, you'll need to leave the property. Sutton is escorted out while confused tourists watch. She tries 3 more hotels that day. The result is always the same. Back in Maine, I sit on our porch at sunset, coffee warming my hands. The ocean stretches dark and endless before me. My phone buzzes. A text from Delilah. Please, we need to talk. I'm sorry. I read it. Feel nothing. Set the phone down without responding. I'm not angry anymore. Anger requires caring what they think, what they feel, whether they understand. I've spent 29 years translating myself into a language they refuse to learn. I'm just free. Beckett steps onto the porch, draping a warm blanket across my shoulders. He settles beside me, our thighs touching, and we sit in the kind of silence that only happens when you've stripped drywall together at 2 a.m, when you've made 1,000 small decisions about paint colors and cabinet hinges and whether to keep the original banister. The lighthouse beam sweeps past again. 1 rotation, 2, 3. I used to think being invisible to them meant I wasn't loved, I whisper. Now I realize being invisible to them means I'm finally safe. Beckett kisses my temple, his lips warm against my skin. The waves crash, the lighthouse turns, and for the first time in 29 years, Isla Cook isn't fixing anyone's problem but her own.